Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're back with another weekly recap. Today we got the Easter event, not that it feels that much like Easter right now. So today another very small mini quest was added to the game. However, also this week we got a lot of new information on Bounty Hunter and what we're going to see when it does return. So we're going to talk a bit about that as well as pet ranching, who knows? As always, I'll be going over any news related to the old school RuneScape community this week as well as a quick recap of the weekly Q&A. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and let's get started. Okay, first up here, let's have a look at today's game update, which was an Easter event. Now these might be unprecedented times, but that doesn't stop Easter celebrations in Gielinor. Okay, what is it with the word unprecedented? Everybody is using that word nowadays. Now as always, the Easter event is a quick quest with a cosmetic reward. Just for fun, I'll leave a link to a text guide in the description if you do want a quest guide to go with it. Should be pretty easy though. You can do this as a free-to-play account as well, so you don't need membership. Now speaking of free-to-play accounts, there's actually going to be some new restrictions on free-to-play accounts. Now as the support team is working hard to clamp down on cheats in the game, it can be especially hard for them to do so when new accounts can gather items of value and pass them on so easily. Now we've therefore applied some restrictions that will prevent brand new free-to-play accounts from trading items to other players. The good news is that they can still receive items from other players, so you can still give gifts to your newbie friends. From now on, the following rules will be in place on all brand new free-to-play accounts. Items dropped by a brand new account cannot be picked up by other players, although brand new players can still pick up items dropped by others. If a brand new player is PK'd, the PKer will still receive most of their tradable items. The exception is noted items, which are capped at 20 notes per item. Brand new items may receive items in a trade but cannot give them away. Brand new players cannot log into PvP worlds. Brand new players cannot create sell offers for commonly botted items on the GE. Brand new players cannot add items to the party chest, and they cannot stake at the duel arena. Now on top of adding additional restrictions, they've also bumped up the requirements to unrestrict your account. Previously you needed 7 quest points, now you need 10, or alternatively you can reach 100 total level or 20 hours of game time. Now the problem here is always going to be the quest point requirement. That is by far the easiest one to get around, so I think they should bump that up further if their idea is to really restrict the movements of new accounts. Honestly, you'd probably need to make that 20 quest points, because 10 quest points can easily be done in under an hour if the player knows what they're doing. Okay, one thing I want to make you guys aware of that I missed somehow, I'm not sure if they announced this or if it was in a news post. Do not hop worlds too much. If you hop too many worlds, you will get kicked, and for an extremely long period of time. That happened to me while I was doing rat catchers, and I couldn't log in for 2 hours. My IP address was temporarily locked. I couldn't log on to any of my accounts on my Wi-Fi. However, I could log on my mobile device on data. But be very careful. If you need to do something that requires a lot of world hopping, I would suggest not doing it right now. Now, I believe these are anti-DDoSing measures or anti-cheating measures of some way, so I understand why they're there, but I don't think it was clear anywhere how long you get booted for. But anyway, now you know. As always, there's a whole host of minor bug fixes and quality of life changes, but that is pretty much it for today's game update. Now, on March 30th, there was a very big blog post on Bounty Hunter, and it does a big overview on some of the issues with the previous version of Bounty Hunter, what we could see in the future, what rewards are going to be happening. Now the Bounty Hunter that they're coming back with is greatly simplified and pretty significantly changed. Now originally they wanted Bounty Hunter to be released in March, but because of current events, it's been pushed back into April, but they are hoping to get it out this month. Now the aim is now to complement wilderness activities rather than form a major wealth source in itself. Now what that pretty much means is there's not going to be as many or any additional rewards from Bounty Hunter that are going to be tradable or farmable for money. There will be additional rewards, however they will all be self-contained to the wilderness. Now firstly, they're going to discontinue the current mysterious emblems. These are the ones that you buy for cash and exchange back into cash after trying to upgrade them. You'll still be able to exchange your existing ones, so you're not going to lose them, but once again they're going to be adding back archaic emblems. Now another big change is all players in the wilderness on Bounty Hunter worlds will be marked with a PK skull whenever you are there. Now to compete in Bounty Hunter, you're going to need a combat level of 30 as well as at least 20 quest points, and you need to have spent a total of 48 hours logged into old school RuneScape, all to kind of prevent Bounty Hunter farming. Also, a player will not be assigned a target unless they're carrying at least an emblem or 20,000 coins. Now from killing players, you're going to be getting the archaic emblems, which can be traded into the new Bounty Hunter reward shop. And there's quite a few different rewards here, and once again, they are all self-contained to the wilderness, so none of these items can be used outside of it. For example, the Blighted Manta Ray is a food item that heals 22 health, but can only be eaten in the cursed lands of the wilderness. So it is very similar to a Manta Ray, it heals the same amount, however, the reward is only useful in the wilderness. And I'm assuming they're not going to be tradable? That would be confusing. And they'd also like to add Blighted Anglerfish, which is the same thing. Now, additionally, they want to add the Blighted Ice Barrage Sack, which is a sack that supplies any required runes for casting Ice Barrage, but only in the wilderness. I'm assuming it's like a cheap rune pouch that will only work for Ice Barrage runes. And on top of that, they'd like to add the Blighted Bind Sack, the Blighted Snare Sack, the Blighted Entangle Sack, and the Blighted Teleblock Sack, which would all function in the exact same way, just for their respective spells. There would be a Looting Bag Promissory Note, as well as a Rune Pouch 1, which essentially could be exchanged for a looting bag or a rune pouch by talking to a banker. Since it would be tradable, this would be a replacement for the older behavior where looting bags were indirectly traded, and players could own multiple copies of it at once. Okay, so this item is tradable, which means that actually could be funneling money out of Bounty Hunter. Now they have the Blighted Vesta's Longsword, which would be an untradable item that will degrade to nothing after 100,000 charges of combat. 100,000, what? It cannot be repaired, and additionally using the weapon's special attack will drain the longsword of 100 charges. The Bounty Hunter crate and decorative emblem system will be discontinued and removed from the shop, and any items moved off the previous version of Bounty Hunter to LMS or Slayer shops would be moved back again. Now, one thing they mentioned at the very end that's very important, they said if we're unable to keep a reasonable lid on the abuse of the minigame, we'll ultimately have to nerf its rewards further or remove it permanently. We'd prefer not to remove Bounty Hunter forever, but we hope you'll understand if it does come to that. So this kind of seems like the last chance for Bounty Hunter. If this gets abused too much, they may just remove it altogether. Now, this week there was another blog post posted about something called pet ranching. And they actually got me pretty good. Now, the first thing I do on Thursdays when I wake up is I go on Reddit, look for today's game update. So I just wake up, I have a look, and hey look, there's a dev blog. And all I read was ranching, so I legitimately got up, started recording my intro for this, and then I kind of read a bit of it. And funnily enough, the thing that actually tipped me off to the fact that this could be just a joke is the fact that they were thinking of adding a new skill. Nothing to do with the pet ranching thing, I had no clue. Okay, so obviously it was an April Fool's Day joke. And another really interesting piece of information posted on April 1st was apparently there's a level 3 combat infernal cape. Wooks endorsed, he even says that he did it and it's just unfortunate that he completed it on April Fool's. Now, do I think that's real? No, I don't think so. Now, there are a ton of reasons why this sounds impossible, but one thing another Redditor mentioned is that to actually start the Inferno, you need a fire cape, which means he would have had to complete a fire cape at level 3 without gaining any combat experience, and then go on to complete the Inferno. I mean, to be fair, if anyone can do it, it's gotta be Wooks, so I'm still kind of interested, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Alright, and finally here, I'm going to do a quick recap of this week's Q&A. Okay, now first up, the April Gazette is going to be posted very soon. It's going to have more information on the Darkmire update, as well as any other updates currently in the works. How is the new Darkmire update coming along? Well, the Sepulchre is really coming together. All but one floor is done, besides balancing and QA. Could we revisit adding imbues to the Bounty Hunter reward shop? Now, they definitely want to remove them from Nightmare Zone. Maybe they're going to make them a tradable reward from PvP, but they definitely want them gone. Do you have any updates on Group Ironman? Well, one of the mods has finally created one of the first clans. However, the engine team has kind of been busy changing the testing systems to transition the mods to work from home, so clans are still going to be some months away. Do you have any updates on leagues? They know exactly what they want to do, but they're not going to share it yet. It's going to be worked on by Mod Ed, Mod Husky, and Mod Flippy, along with some other mods. The league is going to include the relic system and the task system again. They really want to rely on less RNG for relics, and they really want to try to refine it first because making mid-league changes is kind of hard because it is a competition. In the March Gazette, they mentioned taking Soul Wars from RuneScape. Is there any other plans to add other content from RuneScape? Stealing Creations would be cool. However, it always comes with the issue, do you remove summoning from Stealing Creations? Soul Wars kind of has the same issues. And finally here, RuneScape just released the new skill Archaeology. Does Old School want to try again? Now, if the community doesn't like pet ranching, we don't really know what to do from there. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for the weekly recap. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.